We believe AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, is coming potentially as early as later this year in 2025, triggering massive workforce disruption. So, where do we stand right now on that path? Newly published research gives us a crucial snapshot of AI's current foothold in the workplace. Let's examine the actual data. Welcome. Forget the speculation and the constant hype cycle. Today, we're analyzing a significant study, fresh findings published in late 2024 by Hartley and colleagues, giving us the hard numbers on generative AI use in the US labor force right now. Now, when we mention generative AI, we're mainly discussing the impact of large language models, or LLMs, built on powerful transformer technology. These aren't simple programs. LLMs have shown startling capabilities, like passing standardized economics exams and even outperforming expert humans in complex competitions. Think about tools like OpenAI's ChatGPT, released back in November 2022. This analysis is vital because it lands amidst a larger economic conversation. Some economists worry about slowing growth, asking if we're running out of big ideas. Others see AI as a potential general-purpose technology, like electricity, something that could fundamentally recharge the economy. So where do things actually stand on the ground? In this episode, you'll discover the real percentage of workers currently using these tools. Critically, we'll reveal who these early adopters are, breaking it down by age, education, and income. We'll also pinpoint which industries are leading the charge, and importantly, we'll explore what this current reality means for the future of work, especially considering the massive shifts we predict are just around the corner. This isn't just abstract data, this is essential baseline knowledge, whether you're running a business, leading innovation, or building a startup. There's so much noise surrounding AI, but how deep has it actually penetrated the day-to-day reality of work? Where are we truly sitting on that adoption curve right before things potentially really accelerate? This recent survey offers a unique detailed window. What patterns emerge when you look closely at the data? Who's using these tools? And how often are they being integrated into workflows? Understanding this current baseline isn't just interesting, it's absolutely critical for strategic planning, resource allocation, staying competitive, and frankly, for preparing your career or company for the inevitable coming AI wave. So stick with us, because the profile of the typical AI user today, the industries where adoption is hottest, and even how intensely these tools are being used holds important clues about the immediate future. All right, let's start with a core finding. What percentage of US workers, as of late 2024, have actually used generative AI on the job? We hear about AI constantly, feeling pervasive, but this research puts a precise number on actual workplace usage from a representative survey. What the numbers indicate is 30.1%. So let that sink in. Roughly 1 in 3 workers has tried these tools for work since they became widely available. That's notable growth from earlier estimates. But let's also be clear, nearly 70%, the clear majority, haven't yet. And observing trends from the business side confirms this growth trajectory. Other data shows firm level adoption also climbing steadily through 2024. You can view this 30% worker adoption as the initial wave. It's the critical mass forming, the foundation AI is establishing before the bigger surge. But simply using AI is one dimension. The survey also explored how often people use these tools. Let's look at 2 key findings on usage intensity. First, digging into the results shows that among those workers already using generative AI, about 1/3 use it every single workday, 5 days a week. However, when asked about the total hours spent using AI each week, the picture becomes more nuanced. Most users report spending less than 15 hours per week actively engaged with these tools. Drilling down further, the paper suggests that this averages out to around 7 specific tasks per week for the typical user. What does this pattern suggest? Many early adopters seem to be using AI frequently, even daily, but likely intermittently, for specific tasks, maybe completing about 1 key task per day on average, rather than having AI running constantly. At least that's the pattern for now. Okay, so a significant minority are using AI, often daily, but selectively for specific tasks. Let's peel back another critical layer. Who exactly makes up this important first wave? Is it the experienced veterans or the digital natives driving this initial AI adoption? Well, the findings align with what many might suspect. Younger workers, particularly those aged 18 to 34, constantly show the highest rates of use of generative AI at work. This perhaps reflects greater comfort with new tech, or maybe the types of collaborative and experimental roles often held early in a career. But the connection observed between AI use and education level is even more pronounced. According to the survey, nearly 50%, almost 1 of every 2 workers who hold a graduate degree report using generative AI on the job. Now, contrast that sharply with workers whose highest level of education is high school or some college. Their usage rate is significantly lower, around 20%. Why the dramatic difference? It strongly suggests early adoption is concentrated in knowledge work, roles demanding analysis, complex problem solving, research, extensive writing, or coding. Individuals in these fields often have more autonomy and face information-intensive problems, where current AI offers clear assistance with cognitive tasks. This highlights where the initial impact is strongest, within highly skilled, analytical, and creative professions. We've seen age and education matter significantly, but does AI usage also climb with the paycheck? Researchers observed a clear correlation here. Yes, workplace usage of generative AI starts increasing notably once annual household income rises above the $50,000 mark. And where does adoption peak across the income spectrum? It's right at the top. Almost half, nearly 50% of workers reporting household incomes over $200,000 a year are actively employing these AI tools. What might drive this strong link? It likely reflects several factors. Higher earners are often in strategic or highly specialized roles involving complex information synthesis or high-stakes decision-making where AI can be an assistant. They might also have better access to premium tools, more training, or simply a stronger professional incentive to explore efficiency gains. This indicates that those already in influential, high-compensation roles are actively leveraging AI. For business owners listening, this hints at AI's potential not just for automating basic tasks, but for enhanced high-level strategic planning and decision support. What's your take on this income connection? Is it access, job type, or something else? Share your thoughts down in the comments. Moving beyond individual traits, the research also examined the business landscape. Which industries are embracing these tools fastest, and which are slower on the uptake? The analysis identifies clear frontrunners, industries categorized as information services. Think tech, media, and management of companies, like corporate headquarters and consulting, show adoption rates exceeding a striking 60%. These sectors are inherently heavy on data processing, digital content, and strategic communication. Also revealing strong adoption, above 40%, are sectors like professional, scientific, and technical services, and perhaps more surprisingly, real estate, construction, and education. On the flip side, digging into the results shows sectors like agriculture, mining, oil and gas, and government, military, with much lower current usage. This divergence generally makes sense. Many low-adoption industries involve more physical labor, operate under specific regulations, or have slower tech cycles. Higher adoption industries often revolve around digital workflows, communication, and analysis, areas where current generative AI shines. If you're in a high adoption industry, the pressure or opportunity to integrate AI is likely clear. For innovators and large companies, this confirms where internal expertise might already be developing. If you're in a low adoption sector, consider the potential for early mover advantage before broader disruption eventually arrives. And this industry data connects interestingly with other research looking at skill demand. Studies analyzing freelance platforms like Upwork suggest right after ChatGPT's release, tasks heavily involving writing and translation saw negative impacts on earnings and job postings. Conversely, areas like IT support, administrative tasks, and consulting actually saw gains. This hints early on at which skills AI might substitute versus those it complements, a crucial factor in the disruption ahead. We keep referring broadly to generative AI, but what specific platforms are people turning to most often? What the numbers indicate is that ChatGPT remains the dominant player right now, used by the largest portion of early adopters surveyed. Its early launch and broad capabilities clearly built significant momentum. However, Gemini, Google's offering, follows closely, showing strong uptake and providing significant competition. And for developers specifically, GitHub Copilot stands out as a key, specialized tool for coding. While countless tools exist, these platforms represent the major interfaces shaping early workplace AI interaction. Tracking their usage helps us understand the ecosystem's evolution. Now, here's a fascinating related finding from the study about finding work itself. Researchers asked respondents if they'd been unemployed and job searching in the last 2 years, the period since ChatGPT became widely accessible. And here's the key insight. Among those who had looked for work recently, over 50%, more than half, reported using generative AI tools specifically to assist them. Think drafting cover letters, refining resumes, preparing for interviews. This highlights that people see significant value in AI, even for critical tasks outside their daily job. It's another indicator of AI embedding itself into professional life. So let's synthesize the picture from late 2024. We see roughly 30% adoption, concentrated among younger, highly educated, higher income workers, especially in information-heavy industries. They're using top tools frequently, but often intermittently for specific tasks, maybe 7 tasks a week. And AI is proving valuable even for job seekers. Critically, how are they using it? The data suggests primarily to get work done quicker. That's the main use. Secondarily, for getting information or strategies. Less often, at this stage, is AI fully completing tasks. So right now, it's mostly about augmentation, speed. This pattern shows AI gaining traction where it offers clearest value currently, knowledge work efficiency. This is the foundation being laid, the skills being built, the workflows tested, all setting the stage before the predicted acceleration towards AGI and broader disruption. It's worth briefly noting the impact isn't simple. Some earlier specific studies suggest AI could sometimes disproportionately help lower skilled workers on certain tasks, adding complexity. And the market certainly anticipates massive change. Look at the stock performance of companies like Nvidia, signaling enormous forward-looking expectations. So, we have a solid grasp of who, where, and how, but the critical question, determining the speed of change, remains. How much real productivity are these early adopters actually unlocking? Let's return to our main question. Is AI taking over work yet? Based on this snapshot, the answer remains no, not universally, not yet. But the reality is more nuanced. What we clearly see is a significant, rapidly growing first wave. Nearly a third of the workforce strategically embedding AI, particularly within an influential demographic. This data isn't just academic. It's a crucial benchmark showing where we stand on the path to the AI-driven future. For every leader and professional listening, recognizing this current reality, these specific adoption patterns, is non-negotiable. It's essential for anticipating competitive pressures and preparing for the monumental workforce shifts that are coming, potentially faster than many expect. Want to unlock the power of AI? Our free newsletter gives you the tips, trends, AI news, and tools you need to succeed. Sign up with the link in the description below. Your journey doesn't stop here. Watch our next video right here and keep building your knowledge.